It's March 24th, 2022. There's this gentleman, now this is confusing. It says Senator Marshall, and it says discusses overseas meeting. Now, he's wearing a suit, not a valise. So I don't know if his last name or his surname is Marshall. Is that a double title? It's just confusing at the moment for me. With the level of, but what is important is talk about making an effort. In my day and age, being 1978, and Lewis being whatever Lewis is, Lewis has said some things like, again, they look down the nose at tattoos and long hair. Got it. And not even so much long hair. Long hair, he whatever. But more so that the tattoo was a big thing for Lou. Which again, I don't want tattoos for whatever, my children. But I mean, I don't look poorly upon people who have tattoos. So there's a greater existential threat, and your hair length or your theatrical whatever being my fellow Americans is not my biggest concern, nor the whether you inked yourself with some deep-rooted belief. Again, it might not be my cup of tea, but it is not a deterrent necessarily. However, I know that some of the people in the areas of whatever, of the rock, paper, scissors system that have gotten into their level of theater inside the existential family, they may have different views. Again, I understand this completely. This Senator Marshall gentleman in a suit, not a valise, but inside of, it looks like Washington, D.C., he said that he attends rallies. I wouldn't know where to even begin with what a rally really means. In New York, it's not something that is, well, for me, it's not well known where I've been held, but he met with people from Kansas. He said they're calling themselves the People's Convoy. I know nothing about this group except that he made mention of it. So at least I see that the upper echelon, like the elite status of, can get in, like actively works in the protection of our family and our values and things, even though values might be a sliding scale range. There was effort made there. And he even makes mention of it on the TV, which is even more important.
Much is given, much is required. America is still the leader of the free world. It's time for us to start acting.
I don't remember when, in a hole in space between here and there, but I know this was a bone of contention for someone.
Acting like it. On the ground, what the people from Ukraine and Poland told us is that the White House and the Pentagon was preventing.
It's going from a high-stakes conversation with Europe into the American arena about that People's Convoy, because there is a multifaceted conversation.
Other allies from giving weapons to the Ukrainians, that they were softly slow-walking this, that there wasn't enough faith in the Ukrainian people. So the president has to lead, and really we need to push NATO forward. America has 102,000 of our finest on the front line right now. NATO troops need to replace those. The president needs to lead, and the great news is Germany is engaged. They're fully engaged. Again, landing there in Germany, they are fully in support of this transatlantic partnership again. Europe needs to lead financially.
The Americans did allow me to know that, and an Armenian American let me know that Rammstein, which is a band that I like, that I listen to. It's the only German words that I ever hear in my ear, is the name of the Air Force base. I don't know why that's important, but it is important for this purpose.
Actually, they can put so much more of a hurt on Russia than the United States can.
Well, Senator, let's turn back here to all eyes on the confirmation hearings past couple of days this week. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, of course, she was before the committee and was voted on within the past year, for the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, considered the second most important court in the land. You didn't vote for last time. Should we, fair to assume you're not going to vote for her confirmation this time either?
Well, look, she's got a tall hill to climb here, but certainly appreciate the civility of this particular hearing. I think that Senator Grassley and Senator Durbin have done a great job. I think the questions have been fair. She presented herself well. But look, I think all of us have a big concern that she's soft on crime, but we'll do our best to give this process the respect that it deserves.
He has that very Washington version of Coach K. I just want to point that out. I mean, like, again, in, like, sideline interviews, that's just what he reminds me of. I find him a very nice announcer because he speaks in a language I can understand.
But again, is there anything that you're going to see this time that's going to cause you to vote for her because you didn't vote for her last time? So it's fair to say you're a no?
Look, I'm not going to make an announcement today. I expect us to make one this week. I'm very much the physician that wants to sleep on all the evidence presented. I want to know just not your blood pressure. I want to know your oxygen saturation and the chest x-rays too. So we're giving a once more over all this. We're talking about...
That's my kind of physician. That's the doctor level I appreciate. I don't have that in New York at the moment.
About it in conference a lot, and like I said, she's got a really tall road to climb here.
Senator, I want to ask you about a little controversy.
Comprehensive health care is not something that is easily findable in this level of whatever.
Gave some participants a tour of the U.S. Capitol. Truckers on that cross-country protest against COVID mandates. They're known as the People's Convoy. Some people that say that raised some security concerns. I want to get your response to that and why you chose to give them a tour.
My goodness, I bet nearly 100 tours of the Capitol. We even went the extra step and called the Capitol Police to make sure it was okay. These are people that I'd met 4 or 5 days before at a rally in Salina, Kansas. And I just think it was the right thing to do. And I gave, kids a tour yesterday as well. Tours are happening. I just think it's just horrible to discriminate against this group of people because maybe they don't look like some other people. These are intelligent people. They're God-fearing people. Maybe they've got more tattoos than I've got. Maybe their hair is longer. Why are we discriminating against this group? This was peace-loving folks that were here. So I just wanted to exercise their First Amendment. Couldn't have been a more peaceful group. I think that's a horrible insinuation and very condescending.
Well, Kansas Senator Roger Marshall, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for being with us.
So I know, again, that is incredibly important, and some people who may also feel a little left out, although they seem to be able to maneuver the system a little better than I have been able to figure out personally. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.